if the evil touches you, it makes you do bad things. Such as forgetting to tell your wife that you're going on a business trip. You'll run a red light to get to the airport to go on this business trip. You'll forget to pay your electrical bill while you're on this business trip. Your children will wonder when you get home, Daddy, why can't we be on the information superhighway? I can't be on TikTok. I can't be on YouTube. And I can't have a rock. Charlie Brown, what are you even doing here? You have nothing to do with the evil. But yeah, if the evil touches you, the biggest example of doing a bad thing could be making a film like Never Let Go, directed by Alexandra Aja, who's done films like High Tension, The Hills Have Eyes remake, Mirrors, Piranha 3D, Horns, Crawl, and Oxygen. The Hills Have Eyes remake actually would be the best among those. To be fair, High Tension had potential and then totally undid itself with its mind-fuckingly stupid ending. Holy goddamn shit, that twist just undid everything, at least in my personal opinion. You want me to retro review High Tension? Let me know in the comments. So, this was written by two people, by fucking Christ can you tell, and this has to do with a family living in a cabin in the woods. No, not the cabin in the woods. There's no subsection of monsters that are going to come up and no giant hand that's going to come up and do that. Nope, we have none of that. We just have a mother played by the incredibly talented, incredibly gorgeous, and incredibly, very, very just captivating Halle Berry, who is nearly 60, doesn't look a day over 30. Incredible genetics, and she really is a tremendous actress. And she has two sons. Sam, who made The Pants Too Long, is also played by Anthony B. Jenkins, who is in The Deliverance. If you saw The Deliverance, that's on Netflix, I'm sorry. I really feel bad for the kid, but if the kid continues to make decisions like this, or somebody makes decisions like this for him, he's not going to have much of a future, except being known as the kid that was in stuff like The Deliverance and Never Let Go. Am I tipping my hands to how I felt about Never Let Go? Let me tip my hand a little more. So Percy Daggs, you like Daggs, the fourth, plays Nolan. And yes, there's an evil presence that has haunted this family for generations. Haunted the grandmother, the mother, and the sister too. Actually, we don't see the sister. We just have them living out there, living off the land. They don't even have electricity. They're just cut off from the goddamn world. And the world is absolutely fucked. The evil has taken over everybody. They only have themselves to rely on. They have to rely on each other. They have to make sure that they never let go of each other, and they never let go of the house. Basically, the family, the previous generations, made some rope that would just extend seemingly 18,000 miles. It's really, really long rope. I've never quite understood how that actually would work, to the point that it will roll out. You can get out, you can hunt, you can do stuff, but you can't let go of the rope, can't untie the rope, or the evil will get you. Now, that's pretty much it right there. That's your lot. That's your, plot description right there without getting into any spoilers. If you've seen the trailer, I do hate to say it, you have seen a vast majority of the goddamn movie. So that's a halfway interesting premise. The problem is, the writing seems to be done by people that have sustained several major head injuries and have never actually seen a horror movie, or at least learned anything from a horror movie, because me oh my, down on the forest bayou, this was not very good. A waste of Halle Berry. I would say a waste of the kids, but I'm not necessarily certain these kids are very good actors, but I'm not going to really pick on them. I'll pick on the characters, but not the children. I say after I just basically said that Anthony's career may have already been torpedoed by the fact that he's been in two really bad movies this year. Yeah, this is fucking atrocious. Because the idea is, okay, you have this evil presence that could just be haunting them, and it could be psychological damage, and it could just be something the mother's manifesting to protect her children because she's so psychologically damaged. It could be a computer simulation, or it could be just the fact that somebody's been lying this whole goddamn time and everything's fine. And that sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie that came out about 20 years ago. Which one is it? I'm not going to tell you. It might not be any of those. I'll tell you in the spoilers. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Outside of a few decent body horror, like corpse evil entity things, that's really about it. There is one point where they imply that something may happen to one particular character where I'm like, no, fuck you, movie. How fucking dare you do that? There's a theme of grim fairy tales, a little bit on the nose when we start talking about Hansel and Gretel. The problem is that the kids, and I know I said I wasn't going to pick on the kids, but the kids seemed like they were in a soma coma. Halle Berry is completely neutralized this entire production, while slickly done. Alexander Aja, at his worst, can still make a film look really goddamn good. The Hills Have Eyes remake actually was something that really, really surprised me. Mirrors, I didn't really care for. Yeah, Piranha 3D, I mean, whatever, was one of those. Crawl, one of a few alligator movies that came out in the last 5 or so years. But it's not good. It's not good. And the more it tries to explain itself, we're like, okay, we assume that much. The character motivations get really stupid, and any explanation, any attempt to juice up the third act just make me think they didn't know how to fucking finish this movie, so they just decided, well, goddamn it, we're just going to throw this stuff at the screen and see if the viewer likes it. And reviews are mixed. Now, let me know what you guys thought, because I'd love to know if you guys thought this movie was pretty goddamn good. I didn't like it at all. I pretty much hate it. I'm going to get into spoilers, because I don't have time to waste. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So basically, Halle Berry talks about the fact that her mother saw this evil, and the grandfather didn't necessarily believe it, but decided to do, the grandmother wouldn't leave the house. He did the rope thing so they could, so she could leave the house, but she could be tethered to the house. And the rope is your lifeline. And then the second chapter break is, how will I feed my children? And the third one is, what will become of us? The thing that really lost it for me is they were implying eating the dog instead of, just leaving the place and actually going to get food, because, by the way, everything's fine. Everything is fine. The world keeps on turning. Everything is okay. Basically, there may be an evil presence. It may just be an evil manifestation of psychological damage, because, to be perfectly honest, any explanation they try to provide, it just raises more questions that you don't really want answers to. And that's the biggest indictment of this movie not being very scary. And it's not even like eerie. It's not even sad. It's sad it got made. It's sad that this got released in theaters. Yet there are some movies that are fucking terrific that have been put out on streaming services right away. Some that could have benefited from theatrical release. But okay, Halle Berry's a big star. And we have 2 kids that act like they were just recently woken up from a medically induced coma. Yeah, sure, that's good enough. Again, halfway interesting premise that is totally undone very, very early on. And yes, there are a few little tidbits. The evil can take the form of loved ones. Like, there's stuff about the dad. The dad may or may not actually still be around. The dad may have left them. And, because the mother used to live in the city. Halle Berry used to live in the city. She used to have a big job in the city. She used to work all night and sleep all day. She had to raise those 2 kids. And then the evil came and damaged them all. They moved into the woods with a dog, and how did it get there? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Let's just rope on the river. Okay, that wasn't exactly the best, way to do the musical thing. I don't really care. The dog's fine, by the way. The dog does hide at one point, so I hope that the dog actually was able to have a pretty good life. But there's one point in the movie early on that kind of tips its hand that maybe this evil or this mindset has just infected everybody. As Sam says, well, out with Nolan, oh, she loves me more. What? I didn't say anything. Now, maybe it was Nolan hearing things and Sam actually didn't say that. But then at the end of the movie, Sam says the same thing. So maybe the idea is the evil is just, maybe the real evil is the friends we made along the way. So there's also this camera that's introduced that takes pictures, and it can show show who you really are and everything. So it's just a Polaroid camera, or is it a haunted camera? Is that how the evil was shown? I mean, I don't expect my hand to be held and everything, but the more this movie tries to explain things, the less I actually give a shit. And Halle Berry at one point, by the way, just before this, or just after this rather, Nolan is convinced that there is no evil. Throws her in the greenhouse after she tries to kill the goddamn dog. And the dog runs away, by the way. So the dog's fine. Because they need to eat, because they don't have that much food. They're getting to the point where they're carving off wood and eating wood shavings. Okay. Just going to say, take your kids to the goddamn city. Because even if there is something, guess what? Maybe she doesn't have a job. Maybe she lost her job and panicked and decided to leave. But that being said, After she tries to kill the dog, Nolan cuts her rope off, traps her in the goddamn greenhouse, sees this evil entity that's her mother, and she says, "You're not going to get him," and then slits her own throat and dies. Yeah. And then Sam is blaming him for it. And then Sam ends up getting infected. Like, he's not doing all the work, because he damaged his foot earlier when Sam said, "She loves me more," and then did all this, and Nolan disconnected the rope because everybody's just, hungry. Maybe the hunger was actually taking over. Or maybe it was just the hunger for better writing and better coherency in a story that wasn't absolutely dog shit. And then this guy shows up when they're starving, and basically he's like, he heard Nolan yelling in the road. "I have a truck about 5 miles down. I could take you to it. I could take the truck and bring it here. I could bring it closer." He basically was trying to help Sam, who's weakened, by the way, who looks like he's about to die. He's got this crossbow that his mother used, and ends up gut-shotting the guy, who ends up bleeding out. And he's trying to call 911. Now, okay, that's a bit weird because they haven't seen a smartphone. And then this little girl shows up that basically is, that's the daughter of this guy. And it turns out that this little girl actually is the incarnation of evil, or a manifestation of the evil. One thing to mention, though, is there is this room, this little, crawl space type area where you can go in and you can purify yourself. You can get the dark thoughts, get the darkness to leave you and stuff like that. And they do that with Nolan. She says, "Just make sure you get the darkness out of you. You forget the darkness, and the darkness will leave you." And then a little bit later, he's almost dragged into a well by this weird evil, this scaly creature, played by Stephanie Levine. But see, again, it's bouncing around quite a bit, and the movie doesn't really have enough places to bounce back and forth. It's just like, we need to throw scary stuff in there, except you need to make it scary. And then, basically, there's, that whole thing with the room. The dog's out. Who let the dogs out, apparently? Halle Berry did. And Sam ends up getting infected by the daughter and decides, "I'm going to burn down the goddamn house." And then he's just sitting there. He takes a picture of himself, and we see this picture a little bit later, where where basically this evil entity is somewhere. This evil entity is somewhere, taking the form of Halle Berry. Nolan eventually tackles the evil into this purified chamber area made out of ancient wood. Ancient holy wood, I guess. And basically it's like, "Mama, I love you, Mama." Hugs the evil out of her, this evil that was already there. And just whatever. And then the fire department rescues them, both of them, because Sam is still alive. Sam actually took a picture, and there was this scaly hand from the thing that was in the well on his shoulder. But they didn't get the dog. The dog's running after them. So the dog seemingly is going to go on an incredible, homeward bound, incredible journey and find them. I assume dicks, not finding the goddamn dog. And yeah, then Sam basically says, near the end, "She loves me more," and then we cut. So, okay, is the evil still there? Are these just two stupid children? Why were the writers allowed to do a movie this bad? Did Alexandra Aja just basically get told, "Make this movie and we'll let you do a good one"? F. Never Let Go gets an F. I'm sorry. If there is some deeper message that I missed, please let me know. It was not good. This was really, really fucking putrid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Franklin. I'll see you soon.